Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Here's How I Blindfolded. This time it is going to be Spawn Pits Chimps. And the theme for this video is I do want to try out the Beast Handler. Just because we're on the time that Beast Handler came out, which I think is like around a year ago, I think at this point. I did make a video saying I didn't really like the Beast Handler too much. And I do feel like I was maybe a little bit unfair in that one. I didn't really give the tower a chance before it's kind of dismissing it. Now I still do have some issues with, which I guess I'll go over, just kind of later on. But still though, I do want to, maybe give the tower a chance to, kind of redeem itself. Well, not really redeem itself, just give the tower a chance. And so today I'm going to be beating Spawn Pits Chips with the Top Path Beast Handler. I don't know if you can afford megalodon in chimps. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But I would like to at least go for Orca, which is why I probably add more Brickle. Now looking back, I probably should have just saved money, as I don't really think I need to have gotten Piranha before actually getting Brickle, but I guess that's fine. So I'm only delaying her by like one round, which I don't really think will translate into like a level later on. Anyways, let's get her on strong. Now, so my issues with Beast Handler that I still have that haven't really kind of changed at all is that this doesn't really kind of fit thematically with all the other towers, since it's really the only tower that kind of has like a merge mechanic. I didn't really like this too much, as it's definitely a kind of huge departure from all the other ones. Like the towers in BTD6, are kind of simple outside of like some of the militaries, but even then the militaries are kind of like self-explanatory. You have, Sniper, which is global range, Sub, which has seeking, Boat can shoot out from two sides, and so on and so forth. Beast Handler is the only tower that really has a kind of merge mechanic, and so I would have to explain what the merge mechanic is, why you'd want to do it, and whatnot. And so it's just a bit much, a bit convoluted. Not like it's difficult to understand, it just doesn't really fit with the rest of the towers. And moving on from the kind of thing with the rest of the towers, it's weird that it's in support. Now, I do have a theory as to why it's in support and not in, like, let's say magic, where I feel like it really belongs. My theory is that Ninja Kiwi did have plans to make a sort of Mermonkey tower around the time that Beast Handler came out. And so I guess when they realized that they wanted to do a Mermonkey tower and it was going to be in magic, Ninja Kiwi was just kind of like, well, we don't really want to release two magic towers in a row. We want to release different categories. And so they chose support out of all categories, when I feel like if they didn't want to put it in magic where I feel like it belongs, I feel like the next best option probably would have been military. I think having it in support doesn't really make any sense, as it doesn't really have any supporting options outside of Condor. Like, sure, T-Rex does have some support with, I guess it's like a stun ability. But even then, like, it seems a lot of people use T-Rex as main DPS, so I'm not really getting support vibes from it. Overall, it's definitely just kind of a weird tower. Even though I do have some grievances, I still do want to give it the, credit it deserves. Also, hopefully the bird can actually handle camos. There we go, we can afford it now. As I definitely did not budget enough to be able to afford this immediately. Thankfully, we were able to get it mid-round, so it's fine. And so it's just a tower that I don't really like using. Anyways, I want to see if I can merge into a full power Great White by the time we get to the Moab on 40. Let me just use this ability because we are kind of struggling a little bit here. Also, I think I did see that Great White didn't really get affected by Brookwell's ability, so that's a bit of a yikes. And the thing is, I can't really utilize her mine stacking here because we're not really going to be going for towers that excel against ceramics. Orca / Great White's definitely kind of like a Moab DPS tower, not really a balloon killer. So if I had to guess, Alchemist doesn't affect the Shark as well. Very unfortunate there. So I guess we just won't worry about that one. All right, Barracuda, and then I guess we'll merge, and then 24 out of 24. Okay, cool. So that should be all we need for 40. I think the next thing I want to go is I want to go for Reactor, just to help out a little more against the just kind of balloons. I guess instant decamo for DTs later on, it will be nice. Okay, so we got that. I guess we do have reduced cooldowns too, but I mean, I don't really think we're going to be using naval tactics. Seeing as it doesn't really affect the shark. And then I think the next thing I want to do is I want to get mob glue, which I guess we'll get like right here. Also, I could have sworn that mob glue did not cost 3,800. This definitely feels a lot higher than it normally was. Although don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. All right, and I think that's all I'll do for now. And then I do want to save and see if I can afford Meg. I think that would be pretty cool if I could. All right, so round 63 might be a little bit annoying. I would like to try to get my second orca, but I think we might just be better off just getting all these guys up into great whites just to get as much high degree as we can. And if we are able to afford Meg, that will mean we'll have a little bit more power once we upgrade into it. Alright, so I guess we can see how 61 is. As it seems like we can handle them just fine. It seems that Reactor is able to stave off the balloons, while Orca can just focus on the Moabs, which would be nice. This will be fine for 64. So it seems we're going to be degree or power 48 for 63. So I guess we'll see how it is. I could use naval tactics, but my Queen Stab was not really going to do anything. And so it seems that I might have to kind of micro the orca around. So let me move it up here. Okay, so it seems that we've gotten that. Let me move it back just so way kind of in the front. Come on. And it is going to go through multiple passes of reactor too, so that will also hurt it a little bit. Okay, so we got another orca, so we're at degree 56. Let's move you up here. I guess we can just do this just because, and that is 63 done. Quite nice. All right, so I guess we'll just put this guy back up front. So the next round I think would be 75 and 79. That's going to be a problem. But I mean, by then we'll have max orcas, so we can hopefully not be too worried about those rounds. And I am kind of hoping that Reactor does have enough to be able to hold off the Rigo Rainbows in 79. I don't think it does, but as long as we just kind of pop it down to where Orca can handle it, we'll be fine. Alright, so 76 coming in, and we absolutely deleted that one. Alright, so it seems we are going to be pretty fine here. Unfortunately, we are at max power orca, but we're still one orca away from actually being able to get Meg, which is a little bit annoying. If I had to guess the amount of money we're gonna have, we are gonna be able to afford Meg, although it might be a little bit close. The thing is that DT rounds are gonna be a little bit of an issue, I think. I'm not really sure how Orca does, and I feel like we might need Meg for round 95. If not, I'm going to have to invest heavily into support, so things like Sabo, definitely Relentless, and other towers. Okay, so 78 has a lot of things. Let me move and then do that. 78's quite long, so hopefully we can get naval tactics back up for the second wave. Actually, though, that was the chem wave, okay. So we're on to 79 now. It seems that we're barely hanging on for the kind of regrows. There are some that have gone through. And so it does seem like we're going to have to take the combined effort of the Thrash attack from Orca, as well as the attack from Reactor. Thankfully, the rounds are going to get easier now that we've reached the 80s. Anyways, let me move Orca up front so we can just one-shot the ZMG. Quite nice. Okay, so let me see if I can move Orca back to encourage it to only attack one BFB and not hopefully damage the other ones too much. So I'm actually going to get Bricklon first so she can clean up ceramics. I don't like put her on strong for the kind of early game. Alright, so we're at like 20k now. So I think we are going to be able to afford Meg before the 90s, which is perfect. And I think even once we get Meg, we do want to invest. I don't think we need actually max power Megalodon in order to one-shot the BAD in 100. I think just the base Meg can do it on its own. 93 kind of has a lot, so let me need you on first. So we can also slow down ceramics too. One ceramic did kind of get through. going. Hold on. I think we're fine, potentially. Rounds with a lot of mobs definitely do kind of hurt us. 84 is also going to be kind of rough. Okay, you're still... Let me get you on first. We don't need you to target BFBs. We need you to get the balloons in front. Yeah, a bit nerve-wracking. Let me use this just so we can get more Brickle attacks. I think I'll move you up now. Okay, 85 has 2 ZMGs, so I'm not worried about that. ZMG round should be really easy. Seems that Horned Owl is actually kind of helping out a little bit with kind of moving individual ceramics back, so that's quite nice. Condor, I think, could go crazy a little bit, but I don't really need stalling that much. I think we already got it covered with glue. Okay, there we go. 85 should be no issue. You can see us hook these guys in. We are pretty close. We're like 12k away from Meg. Definitely do need it for 95 or 90. Okay, so just like any rounds with ZOMGs are like laughably easy. Okay, 88 I think has a lot of BFBs. So let me move you here. Let me use this immediately. Alright, so you can keep this guy on strong, or on first, I mean. I might have to move Orca up just a little bit. Okay, we didn't damage these UMGs too much, which is perfect, so we can just one-shot them. 89, we're cutting it close here, we're cutting it really close. If I do need to, I can use Mega Mine. I need to use this, Fortified Moabs. Even though I said this run was going to get easier in the 80s, it did, and also didn't as well. We popped everything, that's perfect, exactly what I want. I need you... Actually, I need this on first. So like now, you know it doesn't affect Orca. We just want it here. Let me move you over here. I think we're fine. We're not gonna be able to afford whatchamacallit. Let me put a mine over here. And I just can't have it act... I think it's only the DT, so we should be fine. Let me move you like over here. Okay, we got 2. And one shot ZT is just fine. And I really thought we would have afforded like Meg by now, but we are just getting pennies. Literally pennies at this point. And a 96 is also kind of annoying. If I didn't buy Moab Glue, we would have afforded it by now, but I'm not really sure if we'd be able to survive mid-game without Moab Glue. I could also budget not getting a reactor, but again, I'm not really sure if I can afford to survive without reactor. And Orca's kind of screwing me here. It's popping everything, which is the annoying part. I think this is GG because there's no way I can handle all this. There's no way. I really did want to be able to afford it, and we're so close too. Unless we can somehow clutch up. I'm not too confident in Orca right now. I mean, like, unless, I mean, this is a long map, but still. Okay, I think getting Megalodon did save me there. So we somehow survived 91. Somehow. Okay, so, I mean, I don't really have much money to be able to afford into getting power. I don't think I need it either. Okay, so the first thing we definitely want to do is I do want to get Relentless. Just stop it out with stalling. I also do want to get one of these guys, which will be useful for 95 and also 98. Alright, but it seems that Megalodon is shredding, but I mean, that shouldn't surprise anyone, as this tower is like really expensive. I don't have the numbers in my mind, but I'm like fairly confident that this guy is like well over 100k if you factor in the kind of Orcas. Okay, we got Sabo just in time for 95. I guess we could try to just get some degree. Okay, so it seems that we are going to have whatchamacallit up. Let me light the fuse. Get down a Mega Mine. I mean, we did use it kind of early, but I don't think that should be too much of a problem. And then we're just going to, I guess, just keep merging. Because, I mean, at this point, I don't know what else I'd invest into. As I am kind of treating Meg as a win condition. And it's doing a good job at being one, too. Okay, 96 is like a mini 98, and we just absolutely shred it, which is quite nice. Fortifieds should be no problem. Here comes the problem round, 98. I don't think 98 should be too bad. I guess I could use Sabo at the start just to help out a little bit. I wonder if I can actually somehow eke out max power. Okay, we're at 32, 32, 132. Nice, nice. All right, so that's 98 beaten. Quite nice. And we are going to have a lot of money left over, assuming we don't die to fortifieds. We could light the fuse just to get rid of a few. And this is going to one-shot the BAD. Nice. A little bit scary towards the end there. Affording Meg was a little bit more difficult than I thought it was, but we almost got 2 million pops, 1.8 mil, quite nice. And of course, you know, Reactor and Burkle got the kind of most of that. This somehow got 1 pop. Anyways, yeah, it was quite nice and quite fun using the Top Path Beast. Definitely not the best user of it, as I'm not really too familiar with the tower, but I do like the design. Even though, like I said earlier, I do have some grievances with it still. I still think it's pretty fun. Like I said, I didn't really like the merge mechanic, but I can definitely see what they're kind of going for here. So overall, I wouldn't say it's a bad tower. It's just not really my cup of tea. Just doesn't really kind of fit. But I do have a greater appreciation, understanding